Good morning, everybody. It's Chris with Blind Man's Recovery.
A little blind spotter took the wheel.
It is September 25th.
Bang, bang, bang.
We almost have 100 subscribers, y'all. And as soon as we hit 100, we're going to start playing a recovery game that I'll make a video titled 100 Subs, The Game Begins, in which I'll explain how the game works. It's going to be every day.
I was knocked down nearly every day. Dusted off my crown nearly every day.
And I'll also make a YouTube short and post it for anybody that might not be watching these videos every day. This is an inside scoop for the ones of y'all that actually watch these videos every day. So hopefully it'll start getting people to not only get more involved in their recovery, but also in the channel. And it'll hopefully create like a snowball effect where we can all just start playing catch with vibes, man. You feel me? Alright, so the title for September 25th's reflection is First Things First. Some of us have taken very hard knocks to learn this truth. Preach is all I gotta say to that. Job or no job, wife or no wife, we simply do not stop drinking as long as we place dependence on people as our higher power, instead of dependence upon God.
Asking God, is there more?
I know a girl whose higher power is a person, and she's a disaster to deal with, so that's real.
Love lingered last in line for praise, and the one she got was sort of rotten and insane.
Thinking back over my career of using and drinking countless times, and I mean that literally, I can't even count the amount of times I went to methadone clinics or Suboxone clinics, detox centers, all these man-made options, people. I was placing my drinking and using and the answer to it in the hands of these people as if they were going to be a power great enough to solve this problem I was suffering from. And I'm talking from when I was a young man. I know I'm not necessarily old. I'm about halfway there right now, mid-30s, but I'm talking about graduating high school. Shortly after that was in my first detox. A couple of times I've tried to use my woman along the last 20 years, as my higher power to basically be the reason why I decide to stop drinking and using. And buddy, I'm trying to tell you, if saving my own life wasn't powerful enough, I don't know any woman that was going to be that powerful.
I come as I am, I come when I can. This man come complete with confusion.
And then later on in my using and drinking of age, having children, bro, and them not even being able to do the job. Now, I will say that early in my recovery, when I had my first legitimate spiritual experiences, it was a group of people, this higher power than me, if you will, that had the solution, that had the working experience with the solution, and were able to give the suggestions to me that allowed me to start seeing these things, and ultimately led me to having these spiritual experiences that allowed me to stay away from the stuff. I mean, heck, I'd been on opiates or some antagonist, if you will, since basically I was like 16 years old. I had broken bones a lot as a young man. Wild, son, just always breaking something, crashing something, getting bucked off of something. So I had experienced these opiates several times, but it was probably about age 16 or so when I snapped the tib fib that I was already a full-blown pothead and drinking every opportunity I got. When I had the opportunity to drink, it wasn't a leisurely activity. It was, I'm going to see if I can pound more than you, and I'm going to be the wildest one here, period. That's just how I was. So needless to say, the pain pill experience, having already developed this addictive behavior, and honestly, it was the disease already manifesting in me. it just added to the list of substances, which are just symptoms of what we really suffer from. It was just another penny in the piggy bank, if you will, in the disease's pocketbook, you feel me? And like I said, I only had a couple of brief stints, a little over a year each time in the past 20 years, jail and treatment, and then one was prison and parole. I guess you could look at it like the courts and shit were my higher power there for a little while, but it wasn't none of those man-made things or people could stop it. They just briefly put a hold on it, is about all they did, and drove me nuts in the process. I wasn't happy about it. Then sometime last year, I want to say it was, it started early in the beginning of July in that program at the Walker House. So I was new, right? So, when you're new, you just kind of keep your mouth shut, your head down. I was still stuck in my head. The disease was still real strong, boys. I had been off of the alcohol and methadone since April 15th. I was off of that for a month before they put me on a Suboxone taper. And when I got to the Walker House, I was still hadn't touched the alcohol, but I was still on this Suboxone taper. So in my head, I'm really on the fence still, right? I don't know what the hell I'm gonna do. Hell, every day I'm thinking about kicking the door, you know what I'm saying? It just had got warm outside, you feel me? It was about 4th of July, you know what time it is. So, that's where my head was.
Murder in America, every day. Hold up, smoke up, every day, all day.
But as I'm biting the bullet and just bearing with it, and going to these, they'd have like community where they'd get all the clients together, and they'd address issues and give them learning experiences and shit like that. And the owners, Bertie, and then like Corey and Beth, the big wigs up there, and Gigi, they would say shit like, "What is your concept of God? What's your concept of your higher power?" They kept asking these questions to these different people over these first few weeks I was at this place. So I keep hearing it, and so obviously it must be important. So then in my head I start pondering on it. Of course, I'm staying the hell out of the way. I don't want to give nobody no reason to give me no learning experience. So I'm just kind of in my own little zone trying to figure out what this higher power concept is, right? And I've never been raised in church. I've never had no relationship with God. At best, it was a tainted idea of what it was, and it wasn't real. It was just a disease. So I had been going through the big book, and like I said, I read the 3 chapters that really got me, were the doctor's opinion. The main 2 was There's a Solution and more about alcoholism. It just came to me, man, that I suffered from this thing. That was the first big spiritual experience that I had, the acceptance and the realization that I had this disease. And so I'm sitting in the living room. We have to do like a morning meditation, me and the guys that lived at our house. It wasn't the same as community. That was like the whole damn place. This was just the crib, guys. So I'm sitting in the living room and I'm pondering on this God concept and what I just experienced through reading them chapters. And I came to the realization that surely God, whatever he is, and I don't think we really can know that. I'm just being honest with you. How could anyone possibly know who he is, what his name is, and I might be wrong for saying that, but no doubt that he's out there and he's real. But now the telling me who he is, where, all that, I'm just having a hard time with that part of it still. But without a doubt, he's real, and I believe that. So could it be that he would have me out here running amok, disgracing my family, disgracing myself, trashing my body? I was blind, boys. That car wreck put me in the hospital for regular maintenance, if you will. I had to have service on this standard issue here all the time. I had to get IVs and shit, man. Every time they'd go to put an IV in me, they'd have to use an ultrasound machine because My veins were gone. I'd done ran them off, man, with every time how many times I poked on them. That's one reason why I'm so vigilant about working out, man. I got to get this body, this temple I've been blessed with, I've got to get it back where it's supposed to be, man. I can only imagine when I get old, bro, how they're going to have to handle me in the hospital trying to draw blood and shit. I ain't trying to go through that. It hit me like a ton of bricks that if God, he wouldn't have me out here in these streets like this, bro. He would not be bringing me back to treatment center after treatment center after treatment center, AA rooms, sober living houses, and all this stuff, because he just enjoys watching me suffer. He keeps bringing me back, bro, because he's trying to tell me something and I'm just too blind to see it. Like I said, when I had 20/20 vision, boys, I couldn't see shit. I was blinded by everything. It took me losing my eyesight to really see what matters in this world. He kept bringing me back to them rooms, bro, because he was trying to tell me, you need to be helping people, bro. You don't need to be out here strung out doing all this old crazy shit. It ain't the Wild Wild West, man. You ain't that big of an idiot. You was raised better than that. So that's when I decided, with his power and grace, believe that, to come off that maintenance, man, that I had been on and start focusing on how I can help people in this recovery community see what I just saw. How can I help people experience what I just experienced, bro? Because it was profound. That's only way to explain it.
Just hope I serve my purpose when I die.
And I realize now that placing my faith in people over the years and in these institutions that are man-made and stuff, yes, of course they helped, I'm sure, more than they hurt. And them people mean well. They just want to help people, bro. And I'm sure they do help a lot of people. But a real alcoholic or a real drug addict that really suffers from this disease like I do requires a different power than a human power. And that's just the truth, boys. It's got to come from something bigger than us. Believe that. Everybody finds God different and everybody's concept of God is different. But I hope that helps somebody, man. I'm going to keep my eyes out for them next 4 subscribers. As soon as we get them subscribers, bro, I'm going to upload this video about this game we're going to all start playing. Well, you don't have to, but whoever wants to, bro. And it should be fun, man. So I hope everybody has a good day, bro. Peace and love, y'all.